Olá pessoal, tudo bem? A gente tem mais informações para você aqui no canal sobre educação internacional. E hoje eu tenho uma entrevista espetacular com Judith Rakontrandalay da Montpellier Business School. Montpellier, que é uma cidade na França, e essa universidade, ela é uma das melhores universidades de negócios do mundo. Uma das poucas universidades que tem a tripla acreditação, a tríplice coroa. E ela vai estar falando aqui de vantagens para você, estudante brasileiro na França, vantagens, por exemplo, como uma ajuda de custo dada pelo governo francês para pagar a sua acomodação. E tem muito mais, pessoal. Então, fica ligado, já vai dando seu like aí no canal, se inscreva, porque a gente dá informação de qualidade para você. Bonjour à tous! Olá, pessoal! Mon français n'est pas très bien, mais je vais parler anglais aujourd'hui avec. Eu vou falar aqui com a Judith. Ela representa a Montpellier Business School na França e ela vai conversar um pouco com a gente sobre essa excelente universidade. É uma das poucas universidades com a tríplice coroa, Triple Accreditation in Business. Merci beaucoup pour rester ici. Thank you very much for being here. So, you represent Montpellier Business School. Tell me a little bit more about Montpellier, the city of Montpellier, because many people don't actually know Montpellier. They know Paris, they know Nice, but Montpellier, tell us a little bit more about it.
Bonjour, so thank you guys for being here, and I don't speak as well. I'm learning Portuguese, but I'm not there yet, so I'm not gonna speak in Portuguese right now. So I'm Judith, and I'm one of the representatives of Montpellier Business School. I'm also an alumni of the School of Montpellier. I did a master in management a few years ago. So Montpellier, where is it? It's located in the south of France, 3 hours from Paris by train and 3 hours from Barcelona in Spain. It's a very well located city, and usually to students, what we recommend, even if they want the French experience, it's not just about Paris, as you can see. You have a lot of student cities, as we call them in France, that are really nice, including Montpellier. We recommend students to choose a city because of the atmosphere. There is like a student atmosphere. The size is also smaller than Paris. The cost of living is up to 40% cheaper than Paris. Also, it's very easy to travel between different cities in France and also in Europe. For instance, we are an hour from London by plane, and you have the hour of difference, so you're not wasting time. Also, you have to know that Montpellier is near the sea. We have about 300 days of sun, and we are near the Mediterranean coast. So Montpellier is ranked in the top 3 of best cities to study in France, not by us, but by a famous newspaper in France. And we definitely recommend a student to choose a city in the south of France because of the weather also and the quality of life that is excellent in France.
Well, why students should choose France instead of another European country? Because I'd say France has so many advantages to offer. Why is that? Why France instead of other countries?
So you have several options as an international student. Choosing France for several reasons is a good idea to differentiate yourself. We have to know also that first, a degree from France is recognized at an international scale, meaning that graduating from a business school in France, it shows a really high quality. You have about 200 business schools in France, and only 39 are of what we call the Grande École League. It's like the Ivy League, but for France, okay? So a degree that is recognized at an international scale. Also, you have international companies that are French, like Danone, L'Oreal, and the giants of the industries that are French and that are in the entire world. So maybe in your country, you will find, or you will definitely find a French company. So a French company will be happy to recruit you even in your country because you spent a few years or a few months in France studying and learning about the new culture. Also French, vous parlez français. I just said, do you speak French? So it's a good idea to learn a new language or to improve French. If we compare, for instance, to Portuguese, it's not the same, but it's kinda, if I can say that, similar, because it's a Latin language. So it's a good idea for you to learn a new language and study in English. So it's possible to study in English while living in France. You differentiate yourself also by that. And French is a language that is spoken by more than 200 million people in the world. So in some countries in Africa, in some countries in Europe. And we know also that in some Latin American countries, you have a lot of people speaking French because they really like the French. And the quality of environment and the lifestyle, I mean the food, the culture, the different landscape. France is a smaller country, for instance, than Brazil, if I can compare the size, but you still have a lot to see in France in terms of landscape, of food, of people that you will meet. So coming to France is also not coming just to France, but coming to Europe. So if you want to travel to Europe, it's nice to start in France because it's the center of Europe, you can say that. And you can easily travel for cheap options from different countries, like Latin countries, but also Eastern countries or Northern Europe countries.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for that. But in terms of, do you have any rates in relation to employability of international students? Do you have any figure on that?
Okay, we know that all the students, include also the French here because it's the rate I have. All students find a job before graduating, 70% find a job before graduating. The school has about 3,000 people, so 1/3 of international students, so about 1,000. And among all the students, 70% of students find a job before they graduate. Usually it's because they did an internship, because it's mandatory during the program, and we help them finding this internship. We have a career center that is dedicated for these students. We know that employability is a very strong topic, which is normal because you don't come and invest your time and money just to spend time in France, but it's also to prepare your future. So we help you. We have conferences. We have day recruitment, recruiter that come to Montpellier. Also, we organize several sessions with alumni. We also have a lot of conferences with what we call major partners, meaning that Montpellier Business School has established about 1,000 partnerships with companies that we help you finding an internship. And regarding those who find a job after they graduate, we have 96% of students. I include also the French inside the number because I don't have the international rate for now.
Okay.
But from what we've seen, not numbers, but from what we've seen, our international students usually, when they do their internship, they either stay in France or they go to an English-speaking country in Europe. And some countries, because they have a company from their parents or something like this, they will go back to their country.
You mentioned about 96% of employment rates, but that counting French nationals as well as international nationals.
We're working on the numbers.
But it's something you said is quite interesting as well. So you mentioned that an average of 70% of international students actually get a job in France. Am I correct?
Everybody, yes. When I include 70%, it's also the same as for 96. It's the people, international students and French students actually. So we put all of them together because we don't have the separate numbers for now. But for now, still know that 70% of people find a job before they graduate.
Before graduating, and 96% after graduating.
Within 3 months, yes.
Within 3 months, that's the start. And what can you give an example of companies that you work with? Some companies you work with at MBS.
Sure. So I will talk about those who recruit a lot of international students. We have like Adecco, L'Oreal. Like Adecco, we had a girl from Honduras who went there. Then L'Oreal, we had someone from Uganda. He had a nice level of French because he improved when he came here because we have French courses for free at the school. But his job was entirely in English though, so he had a very good level of English, of course. Then we have some people who went for Nissan because they have worked in the automotive, I don't know how to say, industry before. Some people work for Dell, IBM, and some companies of services. Some people work in also for CMS DGL. I don't know if you know, it's like a logistics company.
Yeah.
The girl, for instance, she's from a Latin American country. She was recruited not because she could speak French, because she couldn't, but because she spoke Spanish and had a good level of English.
Does MBS offer French language courses along the course they are doing, along the program they are doing as master's or undergrad program?
Yes. So all the international students from non-speaking French countries, for instance, North African countries will not be included in this because they speak French. When they arrive, they have a specific intake with 28 hours of French during 2 to 3 weeks, intensive French, depending on your level, but it goes from beginner to almost fluent, so all levels are represented. For intensive French to get along with the French culture, and several workshops about how it works to be in France, like French free social security, housing, health, how it works to be in France actually, and all the paperwork. And then during the entire year, they can apply for free. Sometimes it can give them a credit. Sometimes it's mandatory for some programs like the Bachelor and the Master in Management. And for the MSc, it's not mandatory, but strongly recommended. Those are evening courses like at 6:30. I mean, it's interesting because it's after course, after class, and if you want to improve your French, which is also why you're here, it's not just to have a nice degree and nice experience in Montpellier, it's also to improve your French. You should take advantage of it.
One question that comes up a lot about French, students, they don't know about the visa process.
Sure. So in France, you have several, you have the private system and the public system. For the public system, you have to go directly to Campus France platform. There you can apply through public universities, but here you need a really good level of French, meaning a B2 minimum. So if you don't speak a word of French, you have the possibility to go to private universities or private schools, like engineering, business schools, design, all the disciplines that you don't find in university. And here you have classes in English or French. Then once you got your admission, you have to confirm that you want to come by a deposit of 3,000 euros in the case of our school. Then you'll get the letter of acceptance and pre-enrollment. And from then, it's the same, I think, in other schools, but maybe not the same amount of deposit. You will have to go to Campus France. Campus France, what is it? It's a French organization. We have them in the entire world, about 150 organizations. They are official, so it's from the government in France, and they have offices in several cities in your country for sure. They will receive you for an interview. You will have to bring several papers like financial, also academic. You will have a meeting one-to-one with them. And also, apart from that, you will have to go to the consulate to leave your visa file. Make sure that you do that in advance. Depending on the country, sometimes it can take up to 3 months. So that's why we usually suggest the students to have information by June if we want an intake in September.
So if I understood you correctly, so first the students go to Campus France. Then once everything is sorted with Campus France, then the person goes to the consulate. Am I correct?
Yes, it's actually a process that is at the same time anyway.
You mentioned about financial requirements. So in France, I'm aware it's 615 euros per month. For how long does the student need to prove that he or she has this money for 12 months or for the entire period of the course? How does that work?
Yeah, good question. Usually, depending on each country, if I will mention, it depends on the country, but all the countries require at least 615 euros. Some countries require this money blocked for 1 year. Some don't need it blocked, but they need to see that it's available, like if you have a salary coming each month, or if your parents have a salary coming each month that can cover all the expenses. It's fine. Like if they have a undefined contract with security of job, it will still be enough, but it has to be shown for a year.
Yeah, so now this is really good. And so could you tell us about undergraduate courses at MBS?
So Montpellier Business School is a triple accredited school, meaning that we have like 3 stars, and we are part of the 1% of business school among the world, meaning 14,000 who have this accreditation. It shows the great quality of the school, and we have several programs including the bachelor and the graduate program, master in management, and master of science. It's possible to study those either in English or in French for the bachelor and master in management. So the bachelor program is a 3-year program. In France, the bachelors are 3 years usually. Sometimes they are 4 years, but this one is 3 years. It's the equivalent to the licence, which is the French degree. The bachelor is the English-oriented name. It's a Bachelor of International Business Administration, and it's a 3-year program, including 1 year and a half at Montpellier Business School, and the rest of the year and a half you can either do an internship in France or abroad, or you can do a semester abroad as an exchange student, meaning that you enroll in Montpellier Business School, but you can go somewhere else in Europe. And the last year, you can either stay in Montpellier and do an internship again, or you can do the entire year as an exchange student. I'm explaining exchange student. That means that you are enrolled at the school, so you're paying the fees of Montpellier Business School, but you can go abroad to study with one of our partners university. We have more than 150 partners university, including 55 destinations for the bachelor degree.
So one question in relation to the exchange program, does the student pay extra for that?
They don't pay extra fees for that, meaning that if you come to Montpellier Business School, where tuition fees for the year for the bachelor are 10,900 euros, and you go to the US or to Canada or to the UK, I'm selecting the most expensive destination so you can see, you will still be paying the fees of Montpellier Business School. What we're going to check here are that you match the requirements of the university that is welcoming you. For instance, if you go to a university in the UK, they will ask for a good level of English, of course, and that you have good grades. So here we have to make sure that yes, you match those requirements, because we're not sending bad students to the partner school.
Okay, so first year the student stays at MBS. Second year he takes internship and he can go abroad.
Exactly. They can either, it's a first year and a half Montpellier, and then they can choose either stay in Montpellier, do internship, or go abroad, and same as last year.
Now, let's talk about postgraduate courses. And I know you have the graduate courses, which is the executive MBA, but I'll let you explain that, and an MSc.
So yeah, we have several programs for postgraduate, meaning that you already finished your bachelor program, either in 3, 4, 5 years, depending on the country you're graduating from. Then some of the people work in between. In France, usually French people, when they do the bachelor degree, they go directly for the master's, which is why we see a little difference of age between the profile that come for the master. The French will be like in their early 20s, while other people from abroad will be in their late 20s. So we have several programs. We have first the Master in Management, which is the Grande École programme. Grande École means big school. It's like a prestigious program. Why? Because it's been 120 years that it exists now. So this is the program that is ranked 55 in the Financial Times and number 13 at the French scale. So it has a good reputation. I did this program, so that's why I'm very familiar with this. It's a 2-year program. You have a first year that is general, and the second year where you can specialize.
Is that true that the French government helped its students to pay for their accommodation?
So when a student, international student, but you need to have a student status, meaning that I'm not a student, so I cannot get this, but someone else who is a student, French or not French, can get this help. It's called the financial help from the government. It's called APL. We will be helping the students with this when they arrive in September during the seminar of integration. It's between 80 to 150 euros per month. Still, it's money from the government that is deducted from the entire rent. For instance, my studio will be 450 euros the total. But because I'm a student, I will make the requirement to the government. I will do the paperwork, and I will get up to 150 euros deducted from this 450, depending on what you have. So this doesn't depend on your resources. This depends on the type of housing you're getting. If it's just a room, you will get less because you're sharing the provisions with someone else or something like this. If you buy yourself in a studio and it's more expensive, here you will get more money. It's deducted from their accommodation.
And about the MSc, the Masters in Science.
And it's a program that is more specialized and shorter than the Master in Management. The Master in Management is 2-year program, while the Master of Science is 10 months in class and 4 to 6 months of professional experience, meaning that they'll be coming from September to June in class, and then the rest of the time they'll be doing the professional experience, either an internship or it can already be a job.
And it's to finish up, in terms of visas after graduating, what do the French government offer?
When the student comes to France as a student, they will have a Schengen visa, meaning that you are free to travel in France in general, but also in the European space. But then you can also stay up to 1 year after you graduate. For instance, so you have the authorization to stay up to 1 year on the French territory to look for a job. It's actually a visa called the APS, which is the acronym, to say that you can stay in France legally to look for an opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Paulo. Obrigada. I'm learning Portuguese. I'm getting there. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye.